Whoops, man! I was talking the whole time and I realized my mic was off, man. Okay, well, let me start this again, y'all. Big up the brother Vicetti. See you in the house, man. This is our SANKOFA space, our weekly meeting of the minds, man, where we connect the African diaspora globally, internationally, especially those who are doing digital innovations in the connection of blockchain, Web3, NFT, all that kind of stuff, man. And we are just creating space for us to build. My name is Logik. I'm with Stolen from Africa. For those who don't know, Stolen from Africa is a nonprofit arts education organization based out of Toronto. We focus on cultural and historical awareness of Africa, the African diaspora, and we do this through many different ways. We primarily work with youth, marginalized youth and community, and we use digital media, we use clothing, and we create spaces like this one to build, connect, inspire, and just activate. So I host this with my brother Symbolik, which will be joining us shortly. We started this I guess Twitter space maybe about, I don't know, I think this might be like our eighth session now, and really just trying to create spaces for us to connect and build. And there's been a lot that we've discussed, a lot of really exciting things, especially as creators, and looking for ways to live in a decentralized world, and 'cause we already know how that goes. So creating these spaces for us to build is definitely empowering. So, we're just going to wait for a few more people to come in and discuss things. I see we got some more brothers here. I'm going to invite y'all up because I know that a lot of y'all are doing some incredible, spaces and incredible things in these digital spaces and creating all kinds of innovative works. And I'm curious to see if, how many of y'all are tapped into like, the NFT space or the Web3, which is I think really exciting, and to see where that can go. So usually Symbolik would come through and he would be discussing about what he's been doing, connecting with like the Near platform, which I believe is like an alternative to the Ethereum platform. So and apparently that's like, I guess, a much like cheaper and more efficient way of minting. So I want to give Symbolic some time to tap in. I'm gonna, add you all in as speakers if you all want to, join in the conversation. Let me see if I'll just add you all in, because I know Versetti, man, like you're, the black, futurist, Afrofuturist, man, who's been doing things for a minute, and I feel like the world is just catching on now. Like now, people are like really discussing it. Afrofuturism is becoming like a household name, but I see you as like a pioneer in this, man. A lot of your, you had like the foresight, and including, that the philosophy, or yeah, philosophy of Sankofa, the Sankophanology, as I saw that you put it, which something that has been really resonating with me like a lot, which is inspired us creating the space called Sankofa Space, which means that it's not taboo to go back and collect what you may have forgotten, so that's exactly what we're doing, going backwards to move forward and to continue to build, man. So that's what's up. You know what I mean? So big up to you for adding on. Like, I don't know if you want to jump in and mention about like what the Sankophanology is all about, because that definitely connects with these digital spaces. And what's been really cool with the spaces that we've been creating here on Twitter is that we get like, people adding in from all over the globe. I'm talking like Germany, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, Ohio, New York, California. Like, it's been wild, and it's really cool to see like what everybody is doing in these digital spaces, these Web3 spaces. So while we wait for my co-host to jump in, I just kind of want to do like a little like review of what some of the things that we've covered. So no, we spoke a bit about DAOs, which is decentralized autonomous organizations. We've spoken about NFTs, which stands for non-fungible tokens. We also spoke about Web3, which is a bit different than Web2, which is kind of like what we're involved in right now, with these different apps. But like a lot of these apps are controlled by like big corporations, and they call that big tech. And I'll get into the definitions in a bit. We spoke a bit about Ethereum, and we also spoke a bit about like the blockchain. So yeah, so I think like in the meantime, like while people are signing in, I'll just go through some of these definitions. So the blockchain is basically a system which a record of transactions made in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies are maintained across several computers that are linked to a peer-to-peer network. So this is kind of like the idea of having things like decentralized. So it's not just like this one central space. It's like spread out where people can be a little more autonomous, independent, and just take control of their endeavors, of their transactions or creations, innovations, and really have, I guess, like their timestamp on that, which I think is really really interesting. I'm still trying to wrap my head around like the details of it, but I'm very very curious on these things. Let me just continue over to Web3. So Web3 is known as Web 3.0, and it's an idea of a new iteration of World Wide Web that incorporates decentralization based on blockchains. Several journalists have contrasted with Web 2, where they say that data content are centralized in small groups of companies, sometimes referred to as big tech. So that's kind of like the idea of that. And I'm going to move over to NFTs. So non-fungible tokens is defined as a unique and non-interchangeable unit of data stored on the blockchain, and it's a form of a digital ledger. NFTs can be associated with um, reproducible digital files such as photos, videos, and audio. And I'm sure that there's much more as we continue. Let me read here. So we got Ethereum. So Ethereum is a decentralized open source blockchain with smart contracts functionality. Ether is the native cryptocurrency on the platform. Amongst cryptocurrencies, Ether is only to Ether is second only to Bitcoin in market capitalization, and it says that Ethereum was conceived in 2013. So they're kind of like the OGs in this. And then the last one that I'm going to cover right now is DAOs. So that's decentralized autonomous organizations, and that is defined as see here. Sometimes it's also defined as decentralized autonomous corporations, and it's an organization represented by rules encoded as a computer program that is transparent, controlled by the organization members, and not influenced by a central government. So as you can see, man, a lot of these spaces, have vibes of just being independent. And I think for as creators, as Black people, as African people worldwide, like this is an opportunity for us to really take control and for us to kind of take our rightful space in this. So I'm excited for that. But before I let my brother Vassetti come through and talk about his Sankofanology policy, man, I just want to let Symbolik jump in real quick. What's going on, brother? Your mic's on mute. Okay, well, I can pass it over to Vassetti real quick. Yo, Vassetti, man, what you saying, brother? Respect for joining us.
Yo, blessings, blessings, blessings. Yo, this is super dope that you're holding a space like this, fams. It's definitely well needed, especially in the concept of Sankofa and in the concept of Sankofanology, the practicing of Sankofa, because community economics. We're celebrating Kwanzaa, and community economics is at the core base of our African, our Pan-African beliefs system. You know what I mean? So, when you have things like Susu, you have things like partners. There's so many different ways that we have been practicing community economics and learning more about this crypto world, this blockchain world, is only gonna propel us further. You know what I mean? So big ups to y'all for doing this thing. And Sankofanology, for folks who do not know, Sankofanology is the practice of Sankofa and the using of Sankofa in different ways. So that could be in the ways you teach. Reminding people how the past, present, and future connects. Could be in your artwork. Could be in the forms of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, all these different things. And so this space itself is an example of Sankofanogy. So big ups, and I'm honored to inspire in any way that I can. Of course, I can't take credit because all credit is due to the Most High and to the ancestors who have given me this mission. And in terms of the NFT world, it's like it's really funny. It's really funny where people are just like, I don't get it. It's just JPEGs. Why are people paying so much money? But the best way I can explain it to folks and the best way I can break it down is called digital ownership. So when you buy a car, every car has a SIN number. What you're really buying is that SIN number, right? Because that SIN number is what's going to tell you that you are the owner of that car and all the history of that car, all the way up to the manufacturer, right? And then so boom, now you go to, if you're in Ontario, you go to, the Ontario Registrar. If whatever place you are, you go to that place and you give them your car SIN number. And that's the proof that you are the owner of that vehicle. And everywhere you go, that SIN number follows. And so digital ownership is following the same way, except that a car can't always be an asset. Sometimes it's a liability, right? Because it depreciates. Whereas now this digital asset that you own and that you can now be the producer and manufacturer of can increase in asset as you grow your portfolio, or as you grow as an artist, or et cetera, as a producer or as a collector, right? So that's the best way I can explain to people to wrap their head around it. And a lot of people think it's going to be just a phase, it's just a fad. And, Logik, I work in a museum, and this is something that the museum been waiting for so long. Because think about it, every time they have to, so for example, at the Art Gallery of Ontario, every time they show an image in a presentation to students, we have to pay thousands of dollars to the copyright folks, right? Because we don't technically own the digital image at the museum. You get what I'm saying? So now, the reason why this can't be a fad is because once bigger institutions get tapped into this space, the marketing implications is just endless, right? Because then now, if I sell a digital image to the museum, and museums are already getting into NFTs, by the way, but let's say I sell a digital image to the Art Gallery of Ontario, to the Royal Ontario Museum, every time they show my work, whether it's in an advertisement on a billboard or an advertisement on TV or whatever format, I have to get paid because I am still the digital owner of the image. And so the thing is, the digital age we're at the infancy of the digital age. Whether people want to believe it or not, we're at the infancy of seeing what the potential is. And our ancestors already understood the power of images, hence why we have hieroglyphics, hence why we have so many iconographic systems within our ancestry. And so this is really still Sankofanogy because we're using images to tell a message. And so for me, the way I try to navigate the NFT space is I want to make sure the work that I'm putting out is intentional and it's not just to make money, but also to heal. So that's something that I'm working with different artists, and like we're trying to be really intentional of how can we not only build our own portfolio and make a little 1, 1, 2, like $1 here, and or not dollars, but make a little 1, 2 Ethereum or Tizo or Solana or whatever. But it's also just like, how are we positively impacting those who are coming across our work? How is that message coming across? So I kind of pulled back a little bit from the NFT space because I really wanted to be more intentional with what I'm doing. So what I'm going to be dropping in 2022, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I know, and like part of me wants to like ask what that is, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what, we'll just wait. But just for those who are not really familiar with like your work, like what are some things that you have done in the past, like just really quickly, like some like art pieces and things that you've done that that really speak to like healing, because that has been like a major theme of like this group, like everybody who has come on, whether they're from Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Germany, like there is this like collective consciousness of healing, you know, and I really find it very fascinating because it really just shows that when we're tapped into the spirit and we're connected with our ancestors, because this is a spiritual vibe, you know, like it really shows that like we are really connected to like one source, and it's just fascinating to see it from different spaces. So just from like you and some of the works that you've been doing, like how does your work connect with healing, and what are some examples of that?
Most definitely. I actually want to shout out young Yemi who joined in. He's someone who I'm definitely going to be collaborating with in 2022. But in terms of my work and the elements of healing that I explore in my work, a lot of it has to do around with the Afrotopia and essentially exploring safe spaces where Blackness and Black culture and African culture and the richness of the traditions can exist in the public space, in the public sphere, and the use of creative expression being shown in a vibrant way. So whether it's dancing, whether it's sculptures, whether it's people dancing around sculptures, um, but more specifically, I'm pulling on deeper ancestral knowledge, like concept of ma'at, from ancient Kemet. We're talking about balance of the spirit, just different things like that. Just putting on different, again, ancient concepts, ancient ideologies that really speaks about the improvement of the human spirit and the improvement and the balancing of humanity, really.
Love it, man. Love it, yo. Respect for adding on. You want to pass it over to my co-host, man, Symbolik. What's going on, brother?
Yo, this thing was glitching out on me just now. Yeah, sorry, I was a couple minutes late. We had an Umba Daima year-end wrap-up. Had like mad powerhouses in there, just just kind of recapping, just like kind of like what we're doing, but we're more SANKOFA about it.
No doubt, man. So, yo, big up to everyone who's coming through in the space, man. I'm gonna add some folks, man, up to speak in case y'all wanna add on. But yeah, man. So speaking of just like the review, I kind of gave a bit of a rundown of like some of the terminologies that have come up, like DAOs, NFTs, Web3, blockchain, Ethereum, things of that nature. For those who are just getting their feet wet in this space. But I guess like why don't you, I guess like you've spoken a lot about like the Near platform, and maybe you can give like a quick like summary of the Near platform, and then you can speak to like your intentions with BlackLove DAO as well.
Yeah, that sounds good. So firstly, as far as the Near platform, basically what we should bear in mind is that Ethereum is simply one blockchain. And there are different blockchains. Eventually, like this is building the infrastructure, and eventually we're not really going to be thinking so much about what blockchain things are on. They will be interoperable, as they say. But I got involved in the Near blockchain through Vandal, who he's old school. Like, when I say old school, I'm saying 90s, 2000s hip hop, Toronto formative times. We are from Crew, and one day he starts to drop in NFT talk and crypto talk and doing tracks about it. I got into that about a year ago. I was invited to join the NXM Music Guild, and now the NXM is a DAO on the Near blockchain, and so in working there, I basically started to learn about, this other blockchain, which another thing to keep in mind is that Near, the gas fees are super low, like super, super, super low, by the way. Like you don't have to think, oh, can I mint this or can I buy this because of gas? It's sharded, which means that it is a scalable blockchain. Like you can build it out so that you don't end up running out of blockchain space, and that's what causes super high gas prices, because they're competing for blocks on the blockchain. It's environmentally sustainable. It's green. Uses proof of work and not proof of stake and not proof of work. And so this is all stuff that really I've learned and I'm still. Oh, sorry. I thought Logik, you sent me a message, but yeah, this is all stuff like learning through experience, or learning through doing things, participating, etc. And when I was getting involved in that, I had a moment of pause because I've learned to become paranoid and skeptical when I'm surrounded by white people. And so I'm sorry, I'm just saying, and that's another thing with blockchain and how I've heard other people say this, and I really appreciate where they say we've been muted, we've been, generation after generation, our cultural assets are taken, we are eliminated from the story, others are enriched through our work, our IP, et cetera, et cetera. And so in moving into that space, and I'll say now, like, it ended up being a good vibe, right? Doing music, connecting with people from around the world, from Africa, as well as other places. But I looked at going in and I just was concerned about having a bunch of like apes or some like racist symbolism around me. Brethren was talking about our symbols just now, Ma'at and the Ankh, and, when we're not around, you might even see those symbols and someone telling you that it has nothing to do with you. But and that's when I realized that there's this opportunity, because I was hearing about tokenomics and these things, and I'm thinking, this is like, I'm gonna make my own economy. That's crazy. Like, I just want to make my tunes and make a little loot here and there. However, it started to really click about something called BlackLove DAO, where we can, let me tell you what the goal of this DAO, which it has been established, but it's in its early phases. We do, this participation in this SANKOFA with Stolen from Africa is a part of our, getting things rolling. It's a part of our mission. So BlackLove DAO exists to create safe and familiar spaces for Black people online. We draw from and integrate in traditional African principles like male-female balance, respect for nature, etc., in all that we do. We onboard African descendants, provide learning opportunities and engagements with Web3, crypto, tech, and other emerging technology. BlackLove DAO's aim is to ultimately promote, encourage, and incentivize the conception, creation, and dissemination of positive, creative Black art. We're Afrofuturistic. And so, yeah, like that journey into NEAR, gave a lot of learning, but also led to the point where I could see that there are the tools that are available there, for, doing things like, voting, purchasing, commissioning work, and so forth. That's stuff that's built. Like as we learn more about different things that are out there, for example, Astro DAO is where we set up our DAO. And yeah, so really the incentivization was the first part, and looking at how, a lot of the hip hop that I hear, and hip hop is so close to my heart. It's a part of me. I'm like, I give more credit to hip hop than my master's or my university degree. I give hip hop.
Come on now.
And that's not hyperbole, to use the big word. That's not an exaggeration. So yeah, I was just gonna say, like, youths are incentivized. People are willing to pay young Black people to make us look bad, to act self-destructively, and to pass on that as a message as to what is a norm, for us being separated from nature. Like, when did we become urban? I see the opportunity using these things like tokenization and NFTs and value, and DAOs to incentivize positive creative work. So yeah.
Yo, that's super, super blessed, man. Like, yo, the vibrations are high right now, man. I'm loving this, man. Before I want to pass it over to GRL, hope I pronounced that correctly. I would love for her to jump in and just kind of, because I was reading your Twitter bio, and it mentioned about, you know, creating masks and whatnot, and my brother, you know, Vicetti was talking about him, like, you know, working in a museum and just seeing the future of like NFTs and all this kind of stuff. But real quick, I just want to add on, like, you know, when I think of these digital spaces and in the context of hip hop, like, it's all one and the same, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about us being like creative and innovative and taking up spaces even when they don't want us to be here. Like you think, you know, like the larger structures want these type of gatherings to happen. It's like, nah, like we create our own thing, and I think this is an opportunity for us to re-envision what ownership looks like, you know, for us to actually like don't have to be knocking on certain doors and be like, hey, can we please be in, can you please acknowledge us? Like, nah, like we're going to create our own platforms, our own vibe, and we're just going to do what we do, like without permission. I was going to say like with or without. It's like we don't need permission. We're just going to do what we need to do, you know. So I think like all of us who really grew up in the hip hop, like, you know, kind of like, you know, mindset, you know, I feel like we are like super prepared for this type of like environment, you know, like we've been waiting for this, you know what I mean? So that being said, man, I want to pass it over to GRL. You know, I would love for you to let us know where you're calling it from, because, you know, oftentimes we got friends, you know, from all over the globe. So if you can just let us know where you're from and let us know a bit about what you're doing in these digital spaces. Love to know.
All right. Hi. My username is Joro, like Superman's dad, right?
Jeez.
I'm
Okay.
Georgia, and I'm from Ghana actually, and so I'm calling in from Accra right now. A bit distracted because I was working on some art. I'm a digital artist, and I entered the NFT space like around June, August. Yeah, I would say that range. I was mostly like observing stuff because it was pretty new to me. It was crazy how like I could take. So in Ghana, you can't really like just stop. You've been to uni and you've graduated and you want to just go and be an artist. That's like crazy, right? So I I was like just trying to graduate and like focus on the arts during my break before I had to start working. So that was like NFTs for me, and I was like exploring like the various ways like I could empower myself and like promote my own art. And it was crazy to me because I did not expect to be able to sell my art and not even have to print it out. Like I was pushing my prints for like a year and it just wasn't working out. And then NFTs was like amazing. So then when I got in, I was like, yo, my friends need to be here. So I was like trying to get other artists into the space. So that's like been my focus in the NFT space. Like even though I do like my art, I was supposed to have an exhibition today in Ghana, but I got COVID during Christmas, so I couldn't have that. So yeah, it was pretty sad having to cancel that. So we just did an on-site, but and people are like, "Whoa, what is this? Like, this is so new. This is so cool. What did you use to make it?" So I'm like, "Have you heard about NFTs? Have you heard about the blockchain?" And this is like basically a gallery where you can mint your NFTs and display your art. So it's like a really fun experience for me, like just getting other people into it as well, because there's so much freedom in this space, financial, creative, like there's so much freedom here, and I'm just trying to like get as many Ghanaians into the space as possible because there's a lot of talent that just goes to waste, and I don't like that. Yeah, so that's me, and that's what I do.
Okay, now can you talk about your Faces collections? That's based on African mass. I'd love to learn more about that.
All right, yeah. So I have a friend whose mom is really enthusiastic like about masks and stuff, and that was the first time I actually like saw African masks in someone's house. Like I always used to see them and like they were really demonized in my culture. It's like when you see a mask in my country, because when you see a mask, you're like, hey, it's like a demon. It's like demonic, and you're probably going to get possessed or something. But I actually saw them, and then they were so pretty, and like the art was beautiful, the sculpting was beautiful. So I was like, yo, this is really inspirational. So I do still draw from them and like create my own characters called Faces. And there's this other Ghanaian artist called Kofi. So when I met Kofi, that was like a turning point in how I looked at these masks because I realized that, yo, there's so much more behind it. I started actually looking at the history behind it And Kofi has just been like a really amazing person in the space with me. Like we met up like twice, hung out, and he's like always advising me, calling me to see if like what's up. I'm not in spaces, what's up. Yeah, so that's my faces collection. That's what it's about, and that's how it came to be.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, man. I'm definitely going to keep tapped into your Twitter feed and see all the other things that you're involved in. I just want to big up, some of our people's coming through, man. I see my OG JY's in the building, man. Respect for passing through. Another artist in the house. I see Koss, is in the house too. As the speaker. If I'm not mistaken, you're also out in Ghana as well, correct? See, Koss. So I don't know if you can unmute your mic, man. You got speaking privileges. Or if you're able to add on. I just love this international vibe, yo. Yes, peace. How you doing?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm also glad that I'm in this space. Thank you so much for bringing me up. Thank you. So yes, I'm also a Ghanaian. Nice to meet
absolutely.
you, George.
Yes.
Georgia, nice to meet you too.
Do you know that Kofi is my cousin?
Yeah, do you want to...
Yo, that's crazy. We just found Kofi's sister like 5 minutes ago. Kofi has found another sister.
I love it, man. See, like this is what I'm talking about. Like when I feel like the magic of these spaces, how as much as we think we're so far apart, like we're really not. Like things are so close and connected. But I'm real quick, Koss, like if you want to let everybody know what you're involved in so people can get tuned in and make sure everybody follows each other so we can keep this connection alive. But let us know. Oh, you got downgraded to listener. Hold on, let me add you on. Yeah.
Yeah,
but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it says connecting over here for Koss.
Okay. Yes, Koss, please let everyone know a bit about your stuff because I know you got some pretty cool things. I don't want to give too much away. Rather, you speak for yourself and let us know. Then everybody just follow each other so we can stay in tune. Yeah.
I still see her as connecting.
I see her as speaker.
Oh, man.
Oh, and now it's... Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. I think you plugged in? Oh, it's going kind of back and forth. But I do believe that she has like a clothing line, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Symbolik?
Absolutely. She has Koss Couture. Yeah, I don't know. I would like for her to get up here to speak for herself. I've been working working with her in getting to know more about crypto and figuring out what kind of possibilities there are.
Okay.
So, yeah, like the thing I think I'll say that is dope about what Koss's designs are, they're like professional, like suits, blazers type of things, and then with like a splash of African design. So I feel like there are people around the world who would love that. They're going into offices and so forth. They need to have a certain business look, but yet be able to have something African, both the entire design, but also like the African fabric we know, which is beautiful. So yeah,
that's what's up. Yo, I kind of want to pass the mic over back to my brother Visetti. I know he's been like observing and taking in like like the vibe and kind of getting like what we're creating here. Like I'm just curious, like what are some feedback, man? Just hearing some of the things that people have been talking about and what do you see like the potential in the context of like Web3 NFT? Like is there anything that like has stood out to you that you're like, yo, like maybe y'all may want to think about this, or maybe this is the new wave and whatnot? Like I'm just curious to know if there's anything that comes to mind for you.
So first of all, Kwame to that guy named sistering them. You know what I mean? Ghana's my second home, so big ups. That's a great question, to be honest. Yeah, one of the things that I recently seen happening a lot, like on Foundation and different platforms, is a collaboration between different creatives, and then a splitting of NFTs. That's been something that I felt like is really dope, and then um, seeing people create programmatic NFTs like on platforms like Async and stuff like that. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'd love to see more collaboration happen between artists in the digital realm, especially cross countries, cross continents and stuff like that. Because I think we're in a really unique time, uh, as there's never been a time before where we can actually inside the world instantly. And so I think it would be really dope to see more collaborative possibilities happen. I would love to see, like, you know what I mean, like Ghana and Jamaica link up type of thing. Like, you know, like Beanie Man was just in Ghana doing a big concert. And he brought out like Stonebwoy and all them. Like, you know, and I'd love to see, you know, that kind of type of collaboration, that type of love happen within the NFT space. With the Web3, like, there's so much potential in that realm, like from like, you know, like with gaming, with creating avatars and stuff like that. So I think it'll be really cool to create like ancestral guided, like ancestral shrines, ancestral beings within the metaverse. I think that would be something that would be really dope. Again, it's just like this way to connect cultures and then cross culturally pollinate spaces. You know, so I think those are some things that come to my mind when I'm thinking about uh, potential and possibilities.
Man, beautiful, beautiful, man. Respect for adding on. I knew you had something, man, because you know, like I see you as a, you know, a premium like innovator, man. Like you just, you know, I really love and appreciate how your mind functions and the things that you've been doing over the years, and I've been privileged to see, you know, brother Vassetti's like evolution, you know, over the years, you know, like coming in from like a youth to just like, yo, like the Don. So big up, brother. Yo, I see Koss is back on as a speaker. Maybe we can get her to jump in and speak a bit about what she is involved with her clothing line, and maybe there's some new innovations or new ideas that she's come up since the last time we spoke. So go ahead, Koss. Let's see if we can add on real quick.
Hi. So is it clear now?
Yes, you're good.
Awesome. Okay. So yes, I was saying, my name is Sonia and my brand name is Kwame. So I am a fashion entrepreneur, and I am also looking to go into the NFT space with my brand product. So I'm working on jackets. I call it Kwame jackets. And it's a combination of 3 different textured fabrics. And the idea came from beauty in unity. That's what I'm projecting, where just like what we are doing right now, Ghana, Jamaica, it's beautiful. So yes, the new ideas that we are trying to bring out, me and Symbolik, is other aspects of the jacket. So we are thinking of the vests, then the bow ties and ties, yeah, and then the jacket. So what a client and then a collector will be getting would be the NFT and then the physical jacket or the other forms of parts of the jackets. So yeah, that is what we are working on now. I'm so, is it George?
Georgette, yeah. You can
Georgette.
call me Ifia.
Okay. Ifia. Okay, so you can also call me Akosia. Well,
yeah, sure.
I heard you mention that you're helping new NFT artists. I am also new to the NFT, like fresh green. My cousin is helping me. However, I would also want to be part of the community, like build my own community too. So that I wouldn't be, following him everywhere, so to speak.
You should definitely DM. We have a Ghana chat, so You should definitely DM, and then I'll add you. There's a Ghana chat. So.
Okay, sure. I would definitely do that. Thank you so much, Sterling from Africa.
Yes,
So yeah, this is
maximum
me,
love.
and I'm done talking.
Okay, well, I appreciate you adding on, and that this is exactly what this space is for. Like, we find ways to cross pollinate and connect and to build and support and just to motivate, man. Because every time we have these conversations, I get so inspired, and just like it just gives like so much hope, and just knowing that we can connect instantly no matter where we are in the globe. I just want to pass it over to it was a Black Girl Crypto. The big up for coming through. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. I appreciate you coming through again. So we got some new peoples in the house, man. If you want to add on and just I guess kind of introduce yourself, and if there's any kind of like NFT digital innovation stuff that has come across your path that you would like to share, please let us know, and also let us know where you're calling in from.
Sure thing. Well, thank you for hosting this space and for the invite. I was just in another one, so I hopped in a bit. But happy to be here. I'm calling in from Montreal. I'm an Afro-Asian photographer, creator, and artist. I've been working on and off the African continent for the last 5 years. Been based in Ghana for the last 3, so I see you over here.
Salute.
And yeah, so I usually work with women. I started a project called Phenomenal Woman in Ghana, where we work in underrepresented communities to help women tell their stories through photography and image making. We have not used any this was all before the NFT space for me. So we would actually have in real life exhibitions, because for me, my issue has always been that a lot of people take photographs of people and do art with people, but the people who they collaborate with never see the end products of it or the profit from it. And so it's always been an important part where we actually show the work within the communities, so that they can also see themselves represented positively, because that's also something that I've noticed, is that a lot of people have not had the the luxury of like participating art and just like looking at art and appreciating art and then being part of the art process too. So that's something that I've been working with women to do in those communities, and now I'm interested in bringing blockchain technology into facilitating the payments for it, because the women always they get paid for the work when we're doing it, and then they also get royalties, or they also get residual income from the work. So I'm trying to use blockchain technology to facilitate that. So that's why I'm here. And anything that I'm excited for, or what was the actual?
Yeah. Anything that you're excited for, or maybe things that have come across your path, in the context of moving your endeavors like forward.
I mean, I think just like the NFT space in general has been really great. It's a new space for me. I came into NFTs through crypto, and so even just seeing like the institutionalization. Whew, I wasn't sure if I was gonna get that one today, but just having like all that institutional money come into the crypto space has been really amazing, because now that we're able to see that like this is something that is going to be here long term. Not that we ever doubted that for a second, but it takes that first like bump to be able to get over into it, so that things can become mainstream. And for me, that screams like more opportunities to be able to bring other people into this space, because with more regulation, even though that's not, for some people that's not something that people want, it's in reality that's how we're going to all move forward, because in a lot of places you can't have access to crypto, and therefore can't have access to NFTs in some respect. So that for me is something that I've been really happy about. I think that's like a good thing for us, and I'm just looking to I mean, I hear that what you guys have been talking about briefly so far, but just looking to further connect with people, so that I can learn how to better onboard people into this space, and provide people with the right resources and knowledge when I do that.
True indeed, man. True indeed. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. So let's keep the conversation going. I see Jarrell with the hand up. So yes, go ahead. Add on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been looking for Ghanaian women, and this is like an amazing time because I found like 2 right now. So we're having a spotlight on Ghanaian women in the Ghana NFT community. And so yeah, please DM and let's get you on the lineup, because I swear we are like 3 in here. Everyone else is just like a guy. So yeah.
Yes, hey man, that like I said, man, this is what it's all about. Like one thing that I enjoy doing is facilitation and just bringing all the ingredients together and then seeing where the magic goes from there. You know, so speaking of which, man, I see we got J Biz Russell up, as a speaker, man. What you add on, brother? Let us know where you're calling in from and some of your interests in this like blockchain NFT space and anything else that you're involved with.
Man, I am calling in right from work, the 9 to 5 vibes. But man, you
Peace.
cannot not stop in and just show the love, the energy, and just tap in with your community of empresses, kings, queens, brethren, and sisters. Doing what y'all do. This is great, and I love it. I'm grateful for the words, just saying "kofa." What that stands for in itself. You know.
And where are you calling in from, bro?
I'm over here in LA, representing Jersey always, but LA, out here just doing my thing, learning more about crypto and absolutely learning more about just the NFT market, the possibilities, the potential, and the way that we can keep empowering each other, just not as individuals, but truly unified, SANKOFA, go back and fetch what we have not yet received.
I love that, man. Because like everybody sees like the same Kofa, and it's kind of like the bat signal, man. I threw that up, and then all of a
Yes,
sudden,
yes.
people just add on. That being said, man, I have like my brother who really like like got me tuned in to Sankofa, which is with my brother Quentin Vassetti, man. So I don't know if you want to just add on real quick and just let people in. I know we got some new people in the space, but if you just want to like give them the rundown of like the Sankophanology and whatnot, 'cause I think it's really fascinating, and everybody would be excited to hear
I
about that.
mean, I just got connected with it and learned about it. Learning the concept itself from the logo that someone had, and getting into the symbolism and understanding the strength of just symbols and just those messages that are really innate within us that a lot of ancestors just seem to leave, so that we'd always be able to identify within ourselves and unify within ourselves with those certain things. So the picture
Hmm.
of just that bird reaching backwards for the egg, it's almost like that vibe and overstanding of just perceiving that what is behind you is not just behind you. That is also a treasure within you. If you see it that way, your perception is truly your crystal. Don't let anyone block that. If you haven't received it, do not be afraid to go back and receive what you have not received. So keep fetching, making those eggs possible for y'all and growing together as this community. Love and thank you for putting me up here.
Ah, shit. Yo, Vassetti, man, what
Straight,
up?
straight. Yeah, man, that's beautiful. And shouts to AC Mensa, who's in the building as well. Amazing guy named movement director, choreographer, and all around human being. And the second thing I want to add to Jay, what Jay was saying is, the other part to Sankofa that a lot of people don't know is Sankofa Dua, right? And Sankofa Dua is represented as original heart symbol, right? So you'll see it. If you look it up, you'll see a twirl going inwards of the heart, and then at the bottom of the tail end, it goes outwards, and it represents a spirit. The Sankofa of learning from your spiritual space inside of you, and then bringing that into action outwards. And so that was one of the big aspects about Sankofa that I learned when I was in Tima, in Ghana, and the elders were breaking that down to me, and they were saying like, oftentimes we forget about the ancestors and how we learn from our ancestors, and learn from the spiritual space and how that inspires us to take action. So that's another aspect. But another thing is, even going a step further, is for the ancestors, time is not linear, right? For African people, time is not linear. It's circular, right? It's a spiral. It overlaps. Like colonization and Eurocentric teaching teaches us that time goes from point A to point B. For African people, it's not from one point to another. It overlaps. So what that means is that our ancestors from the past and from the future is always going to be with us. And this space that we're holding, this knowledge space that we're holding right now, is an example of that. The internet was not something invented, it's something that always existed. And if you look up Kemetic knowledge, they already had a concept of the internet. If you look up actually ancient Timbuktu, they already had a concept of the internet. And so what I mean by that is that in this space, time does not exist. So homie is in LA and then who are in Ghana, and then we got people in other places in the world, but we're all experiencing this phenomenon of knowledge being shared amongst each other in the same exact reality that you're currently in, right? And so this is important to keep mindful of, because when we put this energy out into that timeless space, what we call the web, which is now going into web Trinity, web 3, I think it's really important that we are mindful of that energy that we're putting out into there, you know what I mean, and being intentional about it. So it's beautiful that we're learning, and it's beautiful that we're sharing. And, you know, for me, it's all about growing what we can do with it.
Yo, maximum respect, man. Like, yo, love the vibes, man. And I'm just seeing some new faces that we haven't seen previously. I know we're kind of getting towards like the end of our session, because we usually just go for an hour though. But yo, I just want to pass it over to Sharon and then Nico real quick, you know. So you can just introduce yourself, let us know a bit about what you're into, where you're calling in from, maybe some of the things that you're excited about the blockchain NFT space. And I don't know, maybe some future collaborations and stuff like that. So if you want to add on, that would be super blessed. Appreciate y'all. So if I don't know if Sharon wants to add on. Oh, I think we lost the privileges for speaking. Okay, Nico, what's going on, Nico?
Hi everyone, I just joined. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm working on creating a safe and thriving space in the metaverse for minorities, and I would love to hear what are some of the challenges and gaps that you all had, maybe briefly, like in your community and people around you and yourself, like what are some of the gaps, what are some of the barrier to entries, because I'm a tech person, my team, and we're just trying to build something better for minorities, and for the first time make minorities the majority. So I would love to hear what are your experiences like.
Okay, and where are you calling it from?
I'm in New York.
New York. Okay, that's what's up. Well, I mean, I'll just go on real quick, and I'll pass it over to Symbolik, and then we'll let Sharon add on. To be honest, like challenges, I haven't really been focused on the challenges as much. Like I've been seeing nothing but opportunities, and I've like chosen to really just like put my energy in that capacity. So, you know, in terms of just like, you know, amplifying voices, like this is like a simple example of that, you know, just creating spaces where we can just, you know, connect, build, and you know, inspire each other, and then learn best practices. So like oftentimes, like this is probably about like our eighth, you know, Twitter space that we've done, and each session I've like learned, you know, more tools and just more things that we can apply and utilize. And then if I don't know things, my network has increased. Now I have people that I can just shoot them a DM, and people are so receptive. You know, it's really incredible. Like I haven't experienced any kind of like gatekeeper type of culture going on. If I have any questions, people are more than happy. Like they might even stop what they're doing to like assist me, and it's really beautiful to see. So to be honest, like I haven't really seen any barriers as yet, but in the event that barriers do come across, and I think maybe the question that I can throw back to you is, what barriers have you seen? And then I think once those are identified, I'm pretty sure there's some solutions that could be created to work around that. You know, because now it's like, I think one of the most beautiful things I've noticed in this space is that I'm not like just working in silos. I can tap in online and connect with my peoples wherever we are, just like what Visetti just spoke about. Doesn't matter if someone's in Ghana or, you know, LA or Zimbabwe or Toronto, Montreal. We just add on, and you know, this idea of time is just kind of eliminated. So I don't know if there's anything specifically that you want to speak on really quickly, and then we can just make our rounds.
Yeah, like for example, like I don't know if you've experienced it attending these metaverses. Have you seen like enough representation, like avatar options, or let's say for, you know, the experiences that they have created? Do you find things that you would like to see in this future of internet, or do you feel like there is still room for improvement? And what are some of those kind of ideas that you have?
I'll pass it over to Symbolik, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, in this time of year, it's a good time to say self-determination. we need to be in control of our images, and the way to be in control is to be producers and not just consumers. So yeah, I just think that the key to it is quote ownership, because I also believe we come from like this ownership mentality is what's led to this planet, or not the planet rejecting us, getting to a point where we are in danger. It's not the ways that we've survived and ways we've looked at the world for thousands and thousands of years. It's just now that we've got this relationship. So I'm going to say ownership because we're here in this capitalism, but I feel like what we have to do as a part of our influence in contributing to what this is going to be has to be to adjust that base thing. Like I'm gonna die and pass on. Maybe I can give some stuff to my kids, and then maybe they'll hold it and give it to. But really, in the long term of things, we really don't own. I also just wanted to touch quick fast on the previous Adinkra symbols, because what was coming to my mind as you were speaking. I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Keep Growing because I don't have the name here, but yeah, but on that subject, there's a whole series of symbols, the Adinkra symbols, and I know you know that. And the thing that's interesting is they would call these symbols primitive. And what dawned on me when Windows 95 and iOS back in the days came out was like, oh shoot, now these processes, for example, me working in the studio recording with people, you had to, like, if you want to truncate or cut a beat, you'd have to like go to the right place in the menu, then go down in the menu, then hit enter, and then you're working with the end, the beginning. It was very confusing. Now on a computer, now look at how much music is being produced when you can say, get your scissors, which is a symbol, and take it to the end of this visual representation of the clip that you want to edit, and it makes it so that we can interface with it. And so instead of just being something that's only within reach for people who think it's a certain way, it's more universal. And so what came to my mind around the Adinkra symbol is about that valuing, one, because they would say that our symbols were primitive. That wasn't the case. Now we're at a time when the same symbolism is unlocking the ability to do infinite things with computers. And as far as the Adinkra symbols, and of course we had symbols going as far back as Kemet, and I'm sure as far as we can imagine. These symbols were, you could write a whole encyclopedia on one of these symbols. SANKOFA, you read, right? And you have one that I love, which is a crocodile, two crocodiles like an X, and I don't know the name, I apologize, but they what the symbol means is we fight for food, but we share the same stomach, and right, but you can go on and on with these symbols. And so, I just want to give appreciation that we're talking about it. We're looking into this, and well, just to close, we need to value, just value ourselves. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done speaking.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly all, like the Sankofa energy, Sankophanology, that my brother Visetti speaks to, and it's us going back, to collect all these trainings and these philosophies that we have forgotten. And now it's our time, you know what I mean? It's and I feel it in our spirit. I know each and every one of us feels it in our spirit, and that's why we're here, you know what I mean? So we're just building on it, and it's our time, and now we can do it unapologetically. Like, we don't have to prove anything to nobody. Like, we've already been done that. Like, people already know what time it is. Now it's for us to know what time it is. But that being said, I'm going to pass it over real quick to Black Girl Crypto, because I saw you had a hand up. And then I want to see if we can get Sharon on. I know that she was added as a speaker before. I'm going to pass it over. But go ahead, Black Girl Crypto. What's going on?
Cool. Thanks for that. And I do love the Adinkra symbols, actually. Just to add that, I actually have 2 tattoos to my body, so I love it that much. But no, going back to Nico's question, Yes, so I do think the representation issues can be a problem. I'm just looking at it from maybe the Twitter space right now because that's the main way of me being able to connect with other people in this space. I have noticed that like a lot of times I'll be in a space, or especially like a photography space, because that's my field, and I'll scroll down the list and it's basically just like men and like mostly white men, so I do feel like maybe there's still that issue of lack of diversity when it comes to it, and I worry that like if we continue to move in this way, that we will leave people behind, as we have done in the past with Web 2 and Web 1. So that is something that maybe is my main concern, bringing in more women, making sure that they can feel included in the space and that they can feel safe when they're speaking, because it's not always the case, depending on like where you come from and your background, and the way you were raised, just like not everyone feels like that is cool and that is like safe for them. So creating more spaces like that would be great. And then I think like probably in other, I'm an anglophone, obviously, and I'm lucky that I can speak and learn in my language, but maybe having different languages too for other people, because that is like, it's a huge hurdle, like imagine, and like that's what I'm thinking about when I go back to Ghana and like I work with some of the communities there, is that how am I going to be explaining this? I do I do all my work with a community engager. That's what we call them, so that they can help translate and keep the connection going. But how am I supposed to explain Web3 to a person, maybe in a village there that doesn't really have access to a smartphone, when I can't really explain it to my mom? Can't get my mom into Web3. How am I going to get them into Web3, So those are some of the challenges that I face. At the same time, though, I do think that like, for at least for Ghana, I know that the women there, they're the innovators, and they lead the markets. They're the business people, like, and so I also don't worry too much, because I know that they know how to make things happen. So I'm happy for that.
No, that's a beautiful point to address, like the language barriers, and I wonder if like, like symbols, or I don't know if this can be incorporated with the Adinkra symbols or whatnot, but just like that type of like, way of alternative communication that's not through, English, which is, for a lot of us our colonized tongue and whatnot. But let's pass over to Symbolik real quick, and then we'll get Sharon on to speak.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to quick fast mention about NEAR again, because one, Ethereum has a really big roadblock in the cost of doing anything. And so, we've got people who are, a lot of people in Africa are onboarding onto NEAR. It's one of the places where there's a large amount of adoption, as well as Asia. And so I just wanted to mention that other blockchains are probably a huge part of that, just because of Ethereum. It's like Ethereum rich and whales.
Okay, proper. If you could throw up like a NEAR link that people can tap into, that would be super blessed. Let's pass it over to Sharon. I appreciate your patience. Let us know where you're calling in from, a little bit about yourself, and your interest in this Web3 blockchain digital space. So your mic's on mute in case you're trying to add on. Trying to make sure we got the energy circulating and on, especially like when I see like, there's female representation, I'm just like on it. I'm like, yo, let's add on, let's keep the energy circulating. So I don't know if you
Sharon says it goes in and out for her.
Oh,
I think he's having connection problems.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate for now. Well, we appreciate you being here. And as I'm looking towards the time now, we are coming towards the end of our session, but this has been like a really lively session. I'm really, appreciative of everybody just sharing and adding on. And I'm just excited to see like where this can go. And who knows, like the potential of like collaborations that we can create, for those who know, like Stolen from Africa, we are a Black arts education organization here in Toronto, and we work a lot with like marginalized youth. And, we're all about like, cultural empowerment, building up self-esteem. especially from a, because we're based in Canada, there's like a lot of like Black history, Black Canadian history that's just not known about. It's not taught about in schools. So we have like our partnerships with the school boards, and we literally just like inject ourselves and inspire and do that. But now I'm seeing all this like international connections, and I'm looking forward to like different collaborations that we can incorporate. A lot of our program is virtual anyways, so that just opens up the door for a lot. So who knows, man? Some of you all who are doing incredible things like making masks and like the clothing lines in different places, we can just add you into our virtual classes and really show students and young people locally like what it can look like abroad, because the youth are our future. And I'm just excited to see like where this can go. So please make sure, if you haven't followed us already, add on. You can check out our websites, stolenfromafrica.com, for more information and whatnot. And let's keep connected. And I know like when it comes to like these virtual spaces, I'm what I really want to do is create some type of collaboration. I know that's Visetti was talking about like collaborative, like NFTs. I forgot the word that he used for it, whatever. But this could be an opportunity where we can just like build on something, because there's a lot of power here, man. A lot of high voltage energy right here, and we're all about activation, So I'm gonna pass it over to Symbolik before we sign out. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I posted to the top. One thing is just around NXM Music Guild and DAO. The other one is the Beat DAO, and that came to mind when Brethren was talking about doing collaboration. So I had the pleasure and the honor to participate in the Near mixtape, and I was paired up with a Cameroonian reggae artist, and then the producer, I think maybe the States, and then another track with a Nigerian poet rapper and myself, and then a Polish producer. And so, and the reason why Near is suitable for that is because they have mad splits. Like, I think it's like 40 plus. You can't find that in a lot of the markets. And so, yeah, that is a taste, I think, of what you are calling for. And I agree. That's actually one of the BlackLove DAO's aims, is to incentivize like working across, like, for example, doing creative work that includes someone from the continent, from the diaspora, just like you said, or do a creative work that speaks to our relationship with nature. These things that are important. Thank you.
It's kind of.
I'm done speaking. You there, Logik? Stolen from Africa. Can you guys hear me, or am I getting rugged?
No, we can hear you. We can't hear Stolen from Africa, bro.
Yeah, your thing was kind of chipping out though. But what I was going to say though is like, everybody please follow Symbolik. He is super accessible in this like digital space. Any questions when it comes to like the Near platform and other like ways to mint NFTs, or just to be plugged into other collaborations, he is definitely that guy. So I encourage everybody to shoot him a DM real quick if you want to build more on this topic. And that being said, it's been like an incredible year of just like learning and building and collaborating. And from a Stolen from Africa standpoint, like just this idea of connecting into this global community is super duper exciting. Like, I can't even really put into words. So I'm looking forward to 2022, and what a great way for us to kind of like end this chapter, on more of a positive note, and move forward, with just more determination. So like, for me, it's just like any kind of doubt that we ever had, with our creativity, with who we are, what we represent, like, like we're on a mission, you know what I mean? And like, history is being created right now. Like, people are going to look back 20 years from now, and we're going to like look back at this conversation because it's recorded, and we're like the pioneers in this. We're in it super early, and it's our duty to be intentional. I know for a lot of us, like the glue, like the burning desire within our hearts is really about healing, and we see it, throughout our community, mental health, and so on and so forth. I don't need to go into speech because you already know what time it is, but a lot of our works is about that, so that the future generations can have something to build on. And I'm excited to build with all of y'all, and keep that going. But I'm gonna let my brother say the last words real quick, man. Mr. Sankofa himself. Go ahead, brother. Vassetti.
Nah, I just wanted to say, I just want to put something out there, because it's also to answer the sister's question about one of the challenges, which was, having more Black owners, like Black collectors, and I just want to encourage other people to collect the work of other artists, you know what I mean, and encourage them to buy your work, you know what I mean, because that's a trading system. So I want to encourage folks to support other creatives and then encourage creators to support you. And if they don't support you, it's all good, you know what I mean? Because that karma, that energy will come back to you somehow, some way, tenfold. And so I just want to encourage everyone to continue to spread love and support one another.
Shay, man. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I want to big you up and all the work that you're doing, to all of the people that you've influenced, and consistency. So I just want to take this quick moment, closing the year soon, but thank you for all that you do. Enough love and respect.
Man, I appreciate you, man, and I just get fueled by community. You know what I mean? Like I'm really driven by purpose, and as long as I have that and support, because I can't do anything by myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and you've been supportive for all the other lives that we do and whatnot, whether you're in the chat or co-hosting, you're always present too, man. So we're going to continue like that, man. 2022, we're going to keep building and just keep expanding. And like I said, we're super accessible, man. Shoot us a message, any kind of collaborations. If you see anything that someone from Africa is doing, whether it's working with youth or the clothing or the podcast or the video stuff that we're doing, any kind of collaboration ideas, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's support each other, just like what my brother Vassetti was saying. And that energy, I really believe in it, man. You circulate that energy, it comes back. And that's kind of been one of the secrets too, Stolen from Africa. We've been doing this since 2004. You know what I mean? For those who are not really in tune. And what has kept us afloat was just that consistency and always having the desire to support our people. So that's why we're here, and we're going to keep going, man. You know what I mean? From the physical and beyond. So we're going to leave y'all like that. Please join us every Thursday, man, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, because I know we international now. So we'll be back next year. So we'll see y'all next year, yo. All right, respect for coming through, man. And we're going to sign out like that, yo. Peace.